Welcome to My Life and Coasters, where in today's video I'm going to be talking all about Hyperia's opening day and what I think they may do for the opening day, certain things they'll have in place, and as well as that, looking back at some of the original stuff like plans for Hyperia and some of the construction along the way. So yeah, how this is going to work basically is I'm going to talk about everything I think Thorpe Park are going to do, how they're going to handle the opening day, or how they possibly could, how it's going to go, how busy it's going to be, some of the queue times I think we're going to be seeing. And as well as that, I'll be taking a look towards right back to at the very start of the project. Yeah, I'm just going to start off by talking about the start of the project with these concept art images here. I remember seeing these in December 2021, so yeah, quite a long time. Thinking about it now, that's 2.5, 3 years ago, I think 2.5 actually. And that just seemed mad how that really didn't feel that long ago, and this project looks so far in the future back then. To think it was going to be like 2.5, 3 years till we was going to see this happen, if it was going to happen. Yeah, and it's come around so quick. And you can really sort of start to see the area take shape with some of these like concept art images. Like you see the splashdown element here. Now, as you can see by this sort of quick drawing I've done, they have sort of cut this back quite a lot. You can see there's two black lines I've got here on the screen. Yeah, they've cut that back a lot. But other than that, you can see all the exit queue lines and stuff, the station, the layout. Back then, I didn't really make much sense what it was going to look like, but now it really does. Obviously, we didn't know even how the manufacturer now. We've got all the colours, the theme, the name, the soundtrack. So much more we know now. The opening day, which at the time you're probably seeing this, or the time of uploads, there's pretty much just 3 weeks left, or 22 days. At the time of filming, there's a bit more than that, like 26 days. But yeah, so that is Hyperia's, like the original concept art. It just seems mad to think it was like a big black coaster. Now we've got this like very sort of graceful white and gold coaster now. I'm very happy with the colour scheme of Hyperia. Here's just a couple of pictures from the construction process. Back in December, some of these are when it was just like the Immelman and dive loop, just like half of that completed. We've got the big overbank element, and then just like stuff like the brake run. And then some more of them, we've got like the outer bank out of the station, and as the lift hill starts to go up, as that big Immelman and the dive loop are completed. So yeah, we've come a long way since construction of them as well, and that was back in February. A lot of those were taken. So yeah, that is it really for talking about the sort of construction process so far. When Hyperia opens, or around that time, I will be doing something with all of the construction, like the full journey. Obviously, I've already got a playlist here on the channel of the full Hyperia construction updates. Yeah, what I'm going to talk about now is everything I think Thorpe Park are going to do for Hyperia's opening day, as I expect it to be massively busy. I've just seen quite a lot from Voltron's opening day last week or a few days ago, and that was quite chaotic from what I saw, so I hope Thorpe Park don't go down that route. So, you join me in Google Maps now, of all places. That's very weird. Ignore the washing machine noise in the background. Yeah, I'm actually here for a reason in Google Maps. I'm just mainly going to be talking about sort of crowd levels. So obviously the day is going to start with everyone arriving onto the Thorpe Park car park. Now, I'm not too sure what time people are going to arrive, but I imagine some people are going to get there pretty early. So I've just come onto Google Street View now of the entrance. Now you can see here that it's quite a sort of complicated security thing at the entrance. You have to queue up, you go through all the security. So I'm not too sure what time they're going to open that in the morning. But in previous experiences, when I've got to Thorpe Park at like 8:30 AM or 9 AM, it's actually been that there's a side gate for hotel guests, and you can just walk through there. So that's the first thing that I imagine Thorpe Park are going to have to change. Probably have staff on there checking people who've got a hotel reservation, because last year on the opening day I arrived probably about 9 o'clock, literally didn't do any security or any ticket checks, just went straight through. So I'd like to see them change that, because yeah, it's not clearly signed, like it's not too clear what to do, and I think with the chaos of Hyperia's opening day, people will just run straight through. So I hope that they don't let people through the side gate, bypassing security and probably ticket checks. So I'm assuming they'll probably open up security queue early, or if anything, everyone will just have to go through there. And then after that, you get to the ticket sort of scanning area, which looks like this. Obviously, the good thing about this is it's not going to be a big sort of crush of people, hopefully, because of you'll be staggered with everyone scanning their tickets. As much as the turnstiles, it is quite quickly. It's quick enough that it doesn't cause massive queues, but also not too quick that you get a big sort of queue of people going over the bridge. Now, this bridge, it's sort of wide enough. I don't think there's going to be any problems. It'll just be quite busy going down there in the morning. And then obviously we'll head into the dome. Now, the dome is sort of one of those things that maybe isn't that good because it's going to sort of, it's narrower doorways, if you see what I mean. You've just got these doors, everyone has to go through these. And then if you head through the other side of the dome, so yeah, you come outside of the dome and normally you'll be held at different points, like there'll be a hold before you can head into the area of the park where there are rides. So yeah, you have got a sort of hold down here for Soar and Colossus if you want to head down those pathways. I imagine this will be the one that everyone will be waiting at for Hyperia's opening day. Now here's the thing where I think Thorpe Park could make a mistake. If they do what Europa Park did with Voltron and just hold everyone until 10 o'clock and then release everyone, it's just going to be a mad rush of people. I think a lot of people will fall over and stuff. I really hope they don't do that. So the thing I think they should do to avoid this is literally, as soon as those turnstiles are open, everyone can funnel into Hyperia's queue line. Now, if I then go to the queue line for Hyperia, I'm going to talk about what I'd like to see with that. I'm just sort of trying to get my bearings for where I am in the park. Now, Hyperia's queue line, as you can see from the original plans here, is sort of quite a big cattle pen. There is quite a lot of queue line length to it, which is a good thing. We don't want the queue spilling out like Nemesis Reborn. That was massive, that queue. Now, I'd actually like to see the park. I'm not sure how likely this is. I've got no evidence to back this up, other than Thorpe Park saying they're going to try and control it all. Would be to see them utilise the old Black Mirror Labyrinth / Slammer queue line, just to like control the queue, like basically fill that with Hyperia's queue as well. So how that would work is probably have everyone coming down from Colossus and Saw. You've got two big pathways to do that. Everyone can come down here and then along the edge where these benches are. Then I think you could queue people in sort of with crowd barriers along here, and then into the old Black Mirror Labyrinth queue line. There's a gate just there, I believe, as you can see with the cursor, and there's a lot of space within the Black Mirror queue line. Now you can sort of see this drawing I've made. It's quite awful, and this is what I'd like to see them do with temporary queue line, so you could fill up all of the Black Mirror queue line. Now we know this is sort of this usable space. It was open in October as a queue line, and now Black Mirror Labyrinth no longer exists, so that space is just sitting there sort of asking to be used. And then I think after you've queued up in all of that, you could have people come out of the entrance of Black Mirror Labyrinth and round the back here. You've got a lot of space. You could add a sort of a bit of crowd barriers and just sort of a bit of cattle pen queue line, just temporary with like crowd barriers, like they did at Voltron's opening day at Europa Park, before you could have people head down here, and this is sort of where Hyperia's entrance will be. So the only thing you'd have to do is operate like a crossing system for the main path and the queue line. Now Legoland Winter did this a few years ago. Unfortunately, I did accidentally jump it because it wasn't ran that well, but you can just sort of hold people, release a certain number across the path, and hold it. If that makes any sense at all, I've probably not explained that very well. So a quick sort of recap where I'd like to see the queue come. I think if it was to run along here, sort of down this path, down the back of Colossus, you could sort of send it in the Black Mirror queue line. It would go all the way through this existing queue line, sort of. It does quite a lot of cattle penning stuff in there, or at least a lot of back and forth. Then you go out of the entrance here, down this space here. Now what you could do is basically just have some cattle pens down here, because this is no like path that needs access to anywhere, before sending the queue along here and down here is Hyperia's entrance. So the park have not said that in any way, but from what I've been seeing, unless there is some sort of behind the scenes reason, I don't know why they wouldn't do that. Because I've looked at the length of the queue for Hyperia. It looks long-ish if they do build all the cattle pen that they've said, but like it still could be quite a lot longer. It's got it's two big sections of cattle pen and then just a sort of out and back queue line, or a back and forth queue line that's just going to sort of mainly run. You'll have one big section down by the gift shop and one big section by the maintenance bay. From what we've been seeing on what I've looked at on the Thorpe Park app, I don't think we're going to see all of this queue line actually built. I don't think it's going to be as big as that in the end. So yeah, I think it really is going to need a massive extended queue line, and I'd probably say just not for the opening day as well. I think Hyperia is going to get massive queues for probably, I'm going to say, up until September, and then probably again in Friday nights. This season for Hyperia, queues are going to be massive. So yeah, I would like to see them set up a massive temporary queue line for Hyperia like that. Now, as for queue times and sort of what times I think everything will be happening, the park opens at 10 AM for Hyperia. Now, this will probably, the ride I imagine will be open by then. If we look at Nemesis Reborn, obviously they have the whole faff with hotel guests, but the ride was open and operational with everyone sort of by about 9:20, 9:30, even though the park doesn't officially open until 10 AM. Just because how big the queue was, they got it open early. I hope to see them do the same thing with Hyperia. Yeah, just a little sort of add-on part of the video. I've just been editing it and I've noticed a few things I left out, and that's sort of my tips for the opening day if you're heading down there. Now, the first one is to prepare. It will be very busy, and as well as that, you will queue a long time if you are going on the opening day. If you are going, I'd probably, rather than to get like quick rides in it, I'd go more for the atmosphere and just the first just the atmosphere really, because it's going to be very busy, and if you can only go to the park maybe once a year or something, I'd probably recommend it going on another day, because you're likely not to get many rides in on Hyperia. As well as that, arrive early as you can. Probably I'd recommend like 7:30, because I know for a lot of people that's still very early, considering the park doesn't officially open until 10 AM. Something I'll be doing is I'll be taking like a little pop-up sort of stool just to sit on in the queue lines and stuff, and more just waiting outside the entrance just to sort of take the weight off my feet all day. So yeah, that's just a few sort of tips. Yeah, I've just gone into Twitter to notice they're demolishing the queue line for Slammer, so half of this video doesn't really make any sense now. A few additional notes since I filmed this video as well. A lot more has been announced. Stuff like they've extended the opening hours for Hyperia. There's a lot sort of more work taking place, so sort of turning this into a bit more of a construction update. We can see all the signage, some more queue lines, and the massive entrance sign, which is going to be painted gold, I imagine. I wouldn't like to see it stay silver because it wouldn't make much sense. Yeah, there's a lot sort of happened. All of these images were posted to the Thorpe Park Pass Holders Facebook group. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.